Does anyone have sound on? I don't. On Toronto. This should take a very short time. No, he's there. He was just.
And this sounds recording.
Okay. Oh, the recording is already on. Okay, so I call this meeting of the Montgomery County Board of Elections to order. We have a quorum present. It is 2:30. The chair will entertain a motion to go into executive session to discuss the state administrator's evaluation of the local elections director.
So move.
Okay,
Second.
moved by Larry, seconded by Ami. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your hand. It is unanimous. Uh, and we will now adjourn and go into executive session. We expect to be in public session at roughly 3:15. Turn the There we go. Okay.
So can you? Oh, IT.
So do we have volume somewhere so we can hear what's going on?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. So I'll call us back to order in public session. And we start with board president's remarks. First, I'd like to thank the Maryland Senate Education, Energy, and the Environment Committee, which also has jurisdiction over election legislation, for touring our building on October 28th. And I want to thank Boris and our staff for another excellent job explaining our work. Thank you all. It was an excellent visit. We were joined by 6 senators, including the chair, Senator Brian Feldman, and the vice chair, Senator Cheryl Kagan. We had 6 staffers, and the state elections administrator and the state deputy administrator came as well. I'm always happy when people see for themselves about our actual operations and learn about how complicated administering elections is and how it requires work every year, not just in even numbered years. And it was a great opportunity. I would also like to extend the board's and staff's condolences to former board member Elise Barnes, whose mother, Les Wright, passed away on November the 2nd. She was a distinguished public servant. She served on the Columbus, Ohio City Council. In fact, she was the very first Black woman to be elected to the City Council in 1990. And several of us had the honor of meeting and knowing her. And I think she came to your house once, and she will definitely be missed. And I was going to say, last but not least, I want to wish a belated happy birthday to Ami, whose birthday was Friday, and Larry, whose birthday was Saturday. And also wish best wishes for a speedy recovery to Daniel's son, Daniel. So, is there anything else for the good of the order? Any other comments that anyone would like to make? Okay, I see none. Actually, I also should have stated that all the board members are here. So I stated earlier that we had a quorum, but all the board members are here. Any additions or changes to the agenda? Okay, next, are there any campaign contributions or attendance at fundraisers that board members would like to disclose? Okay, seeing none, we go to the public comment period. I believe that we had a request for public comment from Delegate Teresa Warman. Welcome, Delegate Warman.
Thank you so much for having me, and thank you guys for all being here. For the record, I could just speak, right? There's
Yes, the owl finds you regardless.
cool. All right.
Okay.
So for the record, I'm Delegate Teresa Warman. I represent District 16, which is Bethesda, Potomac, and parts of North Bethesda. And I'm here to talk about a local bill that I'm introducing to convert 2 of your substitute members to regular members of the board. But before I'd like to get to that, I'd like to compliment the board members and the staff led by our wonderful election director, Boris, for your professionalism and transparency and commitment to democracy and to counting every single eligible vote, to encouraging young people's involvement. And whether it is by having 2 of the youngest members on the board history, or by your recruitment efforts for volunteer students at the 16 and 17-year-old range as election judges, is really awesome to see. As you may not know, I'm not on the House of Delegates Committee of Jurisdiction over Election Matters, but I sit on the Health and Government Operations Committee. But I've seen your work up close for a while, and starting from the from the 2022 primary election, where I observed very closely the ballot canvas and then the recount. And I've watched your meetings online over the past 2 years, and it's really a model for public bodies to follow, and certainly sets a standard for boards of elections for the rest of the state. And I'm not just saying that because there's District 16 residents on our board, on your board. You guys are really, thank you for your service. Or because I serve with county government with one of you, Daniel. And on the Maryland and Montgomery County Young Democrats boards with the two of you guys, Kina and Margie. Thank you guys for your service. So this year, it's my honor to sponsor MC 626, which would convert 2 of your substitute members to regular members. So currently, 22 of the 24 Maryland jurisdictions have converted the substitute member position to regular members of the Board of Elections. And the only 2 remaining counties with substitute members are Montgomery and Prince George's, but this bill would only apply to Montgomery County. And as you guys know, because you're very aware of what's going on and you're on board, substitute members of the Montgomery County receive the same pay as regular board members. And they have the same rights and privilege as regular board members, except that you can only vote when a regular member is absent. And our 2 current members, Margie and Larry, have been hardworking, dedicated members of the board, and I think deserve the same rights as everybody else on the board. And the recent predecessors of substitute members, including Alex Vincent, Alan Banoff, Grace Rivera Oven, and David Naiman, also gave outstanding community service as substitute members of the board. And I know that you guys previously voted to support the concept behind the bill, but now I urge you to specifically endorse MC 626 and to testify on the bill at the delegation's virtual hearing on Thursday, December 7th at 7 p.m. Once again, it's my honor to sponsor this legislation, and our community thanks all of you guys, board members and staff, for your service for the community. Thank you, guys.
Well, thank you, Delegate Warman. I would just say thank you for sponsoring your legislation and for your continued interest in our work, even after the 2022 election and
You guys are fun
recount.
to watch.
Does anyone have any questions or comments? We are going to discuss our position on the bill under new business.
Question.
Go ahead, Amit.
My question is, why did you not propose it for both counties?
Well, I think Prince George's doesn't want to be told what to do, but if Prince George's would love to sign on to the bill, I'm happy to shop it out to them. But from my understanding, they don't want to be told what to do.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Delegate, you said there was a virtual hearing on December.
Yeah, December 11th.
December 11th.
Yeah.
Yes, December the 11th. It's a Thursday.
There's at 7 p.m.
The delegation is having 2 hearings, one in person and one virtual, but this is on the agenda for the virtual one, which is on the 11th.
The county delegates.
The county delegates and the senators, to the extent they come to this also, they're invited.
Resolution package for the next session.
Right. The way local bills works is that the local delegation has to endorse it before it gets introduced to the full legislature. So if they don't endorse it, it dies. If they endorse it, then it goes through the full legislature. And there's a tradition of local courtesy where the legislature defers to the wishes of the legislators from that area in order to approve local legislation. So the first step would be convincing our local delegates and senators. I know from experience that once that happens, that's the most important steps, but that's not the final steps. And it always is a good idea to keep following it as it goes through the process to make sure it keeps moving.
Now, in your comment, you refer to local legislators. What do you mean by local? You mean countywide or just District 16?
No. What I mean is the Montgomery County delegation is what I mean
Okay.
by local. A local bill means it affects just Montgomery County or a portion of Montgomery County. This bill is just Montgomery County. We voted on the concept about a year ago. I believe it was at our December meeting last year or thereabouts. When I was looking into this issue back then, I was essentially told if it's a local bill, you're too late. if it's a bill for both counties, then, you know, you're kind of barely on time. And the indication that I got was that Prince George's did not want to be part of it. So as a result, it's a local bill, that's why it's back now instead of having been done in last year.
Okay.
Where would the hearing take place?
This hearing is gonna be virtual. The one on December 11th is virtual. The December 4th hearing, which is the in-person hearing, is not on this bill, but that's being held at the Park and Planning in Wheaton. But this hearing will, you know, will be from the comfort of your own home.
How would you get access to it? Will they be at some place in Rockville or something? or-
No. I think everybody's in their own location. Delegate Warman, how do your virtual hearings work?
Yeah.
And how do we sign up?
So, there's a link already where, stakeholders can sign up for, to sign up to give public comment, and I'll make sure to circulate that link around. And we usually just, since it's just a hearing, we just have to make sure that there's quorum on our end, and they make sure that there's a quorum, but we're all doing it from different places, some their offices, some their home offices.
And the virtual hearing just on this bill or are there other bills?
There's other bills, and I'll find out what order we're in, so that, you know, you're not listening to what you don't want to listen to, but they're interesting.
We'll certainly be on top of it. Assuming that the vote is later in the meeting goes the way I think it will. You know, I know not to make too many presumptions, but anyway, we do appreciate your coming to see us in person.
Thank you for considering it.
So, and again, your continued interest in art and all the nice things you said about it, including recognizing my service as a substitute, which I appreciate. That was a while ago. I think you may have been in college at the time or whatever, but thank you.
About an hour here, right?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, guys.
Good seeing you.
Okay. Okay, do we have?
What?
Let me get back to the Zoom here and see if we have any observers. Okay, we do have a few attendees who are watching. If any of you who are attendees are seeking to address the board, I need you to electronically raise your hand, in which case we will promote you to panelist. Otherwise, we are going to move on to the next item on our agenda. And I do not see any hands raised. Okay, then let us proceed. Let me get back to my agenda here. So the next on the agenda is the election director's report for us.
Thank you. I think we have a small owl problem. Can you just give us a moment to fix it?
No, yeah, we do have an owl problem. The owl sees you and nobody else.
You don't see me. You don't see me. It's switched off the camera. So. There you go.
Stay, Dustin.
I'm not following you.
Okay, there we are.
Good. Okay, I'll be very brief. As per established practice, the agenda for today's meeting was published a week ago. Last Monday, shared with the board, put on our website. All the reports and the materials for today's board meeting were shared with the board members and the public last Thursday. When it comes to the voter registration statistics, just very briefly, I will not go into detailed numbers, but it seems that we are holding over 700,000 it's a trend that we realized a few months ago, and we are lingering between 700 and 705,000 as we go along. When it comes to personnel, we are conducting interviews for the water education training specialist. Lengthy process will take some time, but we expect onboarding of a new colleague sometime in December. When it comes to the temporary positions, we have 2 temporary employees on site most of the time, and we have a few others who are assisting us with the outreach events. Due to the volume, we couldn't find enough team members to match everything that was going on. When it comes to budget, the document is shared with the board. The document is available on our website. We are still too early to go into election frenzy. All the spending is per projections. We will start as in early 2026 with the expenditures that will build up our expenditures for the 2026 primary. For now, the largest expenses, of course, is the quarterly state bill. They're usually around $500,000 to $700,000 as we go along. When it comes to section activities, this is as business as usual as someone might imagine, especially when it comes to water services. We are busy every day, whether it's election year or non-election year. List maintenance, water registration updates, and new water registrations never stop. The addition is that whole team on both voter registration and vote by mail side is assisting with outreach events. We are trying to maximize our internal capacities as much as we can. When it comes to candidate filing, that process is ongoing. As we are getting closer to the deadline, which is in February next year, we expect more candidates will come and start applying, especially as of new year. In my report, you will see overview of 81 filings so far for our ballots. But the moment I write this report, that data becomes obsolete. So there's a link in my report to go to the state website to track in real time who is filing, who is withdrawing, who had canceled their filing that was done previously. Just talking about the elected officials and filing. The last board meeting, the board had a action item to find a place on our website to provide the link to elected officials and the links to the state. Everything is on the website. We put it in like 2 days after the last board meeting. When it comes to voting system and information technology section, there are tasks that we are mandated to do, charging batteries on our election equipment and other maintenance that is periodic as per a state board request. Election resource management system, it's still testing phase, but I believe that we are coming closer to the end of this process. So we'll start using the new system for the 2026 primary. My colleague Janet and the team, there's ongoing process with the website Web 2.0 redesign project. We discussed it at one of the previous board meetings. It's a federal guidelines for the ADA and accessibility of our websites. You will notice maybe that initial agenda that I shared with the board had a red font in the agenda for the exactly, I don't remember the wording. Jenna had to remove that color because that's one of the new requirements. Red cannot be used in the documents, if I'm
I'm
correct.
sorry, red can't be used where?
In the documents.
Website.
On our-
Media files.
On our,
Documents. It's an accessibility thing. People can't see.
people can't see red?
Yeah.
Yes.
So if we want to distinguish between things, can we use other colors?
Yeah, red is definitely a no-no.
Right, but I mean, if you wanted
Yes,
to,
but
if
there
you
are
wanted
other
to use
colors.
green, or if you wanted to use blue or.
I think green is another no-no. No,
So
most people that are.
the question is colorblind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
colorblind,
Okay.
not see red and green. That's the
Okay.
thing.
So if we start using blue, that's not a political statement. That
No.
is a, you know, that is a, we want
We
people
could
to.
use purple.
Yes, purple would be a good. Yeah, exactly. Depends on what we're saying. Yeah, that's exactly. Okay, okay. Thank you. I'm sorry.
No problem.
Yeah.
I think it's yeah, for the general understanding, if people don't start seeing less color in our documents, that's the reason. We are trying to phase them out or I let them in and Janice catch me, so she removed them after me, so.
Well, all I would say to that is, I would rather that we use different colors as opposed to fewer colors, because I think a lot of times you need to distinguish things in order for people to see them.
Absolutely. Just very briefly, outreach, recruitment, the training section. Outreach, we will talk more with Dr. Zelaya later on. He will join us online. Recruitment team is out there with the outreach events. We are collecting applications as we go through the outreach events. We are processing applications as they come in. It's ongoing process throughout the year, whether we are in election season or not. As I already said, voter education training special position is currently vacant. So we have a manager and one temporary employee who are prepping the work that otherwise should be done by that person at this time of the year. When it comes to meeting and events, I just very briefly mentioned the visit from the EEE committee on the Senate side, from the Maryland General Assembly. I believe the board president elaborated a bit more on that meeting already. So in short, that would be my report for this board meeting.
Questions for Boris? No questions for Boris. Okay. Thank you. We appreciate it. So next on the agenda is usually the attorney's report. And guess what? That's what's next on the agenda.
There it is.
Okay, go ahead,
I don't
Kevin.
have much to add, other than we've circulated MOUs with the county for early voting. And we sent an MOU to Gaithersburg for early voting. We have sent Montgomery County Public Schools an MOU to install drop boxes. And we sent an MOU to the city of Rockville to install drop boxes. So they're under review by those entities. I'd like to think that we get this wrapped up in the next 30 days or so. Obviously, drafts of the MOUs are included in the election plan that's going to be submitted by the staff prior to whenever the due date is.
Do we also have, I believe we have a Dropbox at Tacoma Park, City of Tacoma
Where
Park?
we've handled some of these a little differently, because we have one at Friendship Heights. They
Yeah.
were perfectly happy with just an email basically saying, we agree to have it installed and we agree to keep the footage for 22 months and we'll transmit it to you. Tacoma Park was also someone who was just fine saying, if you do it by email, that's fine. We don't need a formal MOU. So Friendship Heights and Tacoma Park are just going to be by email.
Yeah, and Marriott, I believe.
Marriott.
And Marriott also did. Marriott is okay with an email?
Yeah.
Okay,
We did it 2024, so we just
okay.
repeat the process that it was done before.
So that's all I have.
Okay, anything else for Kevin? Alrighty, next is the website update. The
This will
numbers
be-
finally moved a little bit.
That's exactly, I wanted to open with that. David announced, was it 2 months ago, that we will see some movement when we hit the end of the year, last quarter, November, December. It will be exaggeration when I say we doubled, but the numbers are moving up. It's obviously, we are not very close where we would be as we get closer to the election, but it's picking up because I think the interest is out there in the community. So I will not go through many details, but yeah, compared to August, number of web pages viewed by users doubled from 6,000 to 12,000. We are nowhere near 500,000 or 700,000, I think was our largest number, but I think the direction is the right one. So it's I would still say on the lower end, but we are picking up, and the website is being updated as need be to provide as accurate information as voters can obtain from us.
Okay, any questions about the website report?
Oh,
No.
President, there was some talk in the election directions report about web design 2.0 or something. Is that's different, I guess, is
So 2.0 web design, Jen can talk more about that. That's county-wide project that touches upon every single agency, every single department. And the goal is to bring county websites, all the websites of all the agency, in line with the federal guidelines related to ADA and accessibility of the web portals.
Also rebuilding all the websites. Every single website will be rebuilt. We're going to a new software platform.
What is that gonna mean in terms of how it looks?
The vendor has given us prototypes and they will work with us on building ours. I've seen the prototypes of the main frame, the main county website, but nothing for us yet.
Okay. I think we would be very interested in that. Not in the intricate details that only the IT gurus like you can understand, but just in terms of the overall, presentation. I think it would be great to have it at some point, a
Yeah.
presentation on what you learned.
Yes.
I have a
It's
question.
gonna look different because if the ADA issue is number of clicks it takes to get there or what you have to do or access to get there, it's gonna look different now.
It's gonna look different. Any board meeting, we have to have the transcript to the tapes. We have to go through and review.
You have to
it
have a
make-
transcript.
On the, you know how you do the cap.
Like the closed
You
caption.
have to have it there.
Okay,
And so that means every board meeting, we have to review it to make sure YouTube got the words right before we could put it up.
So that's additional task that takes.
But that's gonna take a couple days. for us
someone
to-
giving us additional resources for that?
No. YouTube does a pretty good job though. It's just
Okay,
the fact that you have to listen to every single word. that
Right.
takes the time.
right. Oh, believe me, no one listens to every single word of our board meetings more than I do. So,
But you gotta listen and pay attention.
yeah, I know, I understand. You have to, and then you have to stop it when it's wrong and
And
write
go
down,
back
write
and
down what the
fix it.
correction is or whatever
And
and
fix
keep
it.
going. Yeah, no.
Hire David.
I have a question.
I get rich that way, yes, Tommy.
Do we have a time frame for when this is likely to be completed?
They're shooting for January
Wow.
That's
26th.
fast thinking.
Yes,
And this would be, apologies, I mean, this would be across the board,
across the county.
across the county.
Wow.
So we are going to make drastic changes to our website right around the filing deadline, it sounds like.
And they get to
We can,
work
and I
Christmas
always
Day.
have the option to tell them, we can't do it yet, let's delay it, let's wait till next month, but.
Or, but when you say wait till, I mean, I gather,
would rather-
I gather waiting till December of next year is
No,
not, it's
that's
not an option.
doesn't.
So, I just want to make sure that, we're gonna have a lot of people who are gonna be getting familiar with our website in time for it to change.
Yeah, Yeah.
As they get ready to file for office, et cetera.
And I think for a period of time, we're gonna be running dual. We still have the old up, but the new behind the scenes, and as we'll be
Okay.
updating both, and then it's gonna flip over.
okay.
Is there public notice of this?
I'm not sure.
If there will be changes, I would say that January is as good date as we could have in election year. Everything after that, we are getting into very tight
Oh,
deadlines.
agreed.
So if it's gonna happen, especially you spoke about this like dual presence or and accessibility, I think we are covered.
Is there anything that we can do to encourage it to happen faster? Not faster than January, but we're not necessarily the first department that people in county government think of as they think of the departments of county government. And yet, like you just said, there's if they were to do it in the midst of Canvas, for example, that could be very confusing for people and they don't know where to look for their results and they don't, or the schedule or how to log on or, or any of that kind of
Or
thing.
right before the vote.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So it would be, so is there anything that we can do to help influence it so that it's done in a way that works for our schedule?
So I think that our initial thought that January sounds okay. Any delay after that, it has to be subject of the review and further conversation. But January sounds okay against our plan and against the.
Right. I guess my question is, can we tell someone in county government that if it slips, that that's a problem for us? Rather than just assuming that they will be on time? Because,
Yeah, but what do you think telling them will do?
well, if we were to tell the deputy CAO, at least she'll know that we have a concern if they're gonna, if they're gonna do this in the midst of election season and that we would like to work something out so that we don't disrupt the service to the voters. None of our elected officials are going to want to be responsible for changing our website in a way that makes it so that the voters can't figure out what they want to do. None of our candidates are going to feel that way either. So I think it's in everybody's interest that ours be handled in a way that people can, with as much continuity as we can muster. But I also know that it's, we could hope that everything goes according to plan, but in my experience in government, and I was in government for a few decades, not Montgomery County government, but government, things rarely happen on that kind of a schedule. And don't get me wrong, I'd be happy to be the person who raises the alarm bell if that would be helpful. I'm not suggesting that I'm pushing you in front of the train, but
Is there a rollout schedule? I mean, this is the county's main page right now, but I assume that'll change first and tell people this is all coming, and then others will roll after.
There is a rollout schedule, but it's general. It's not down to department level yet. They just got high level.
You're
breakdowns.
late November. Okay.
Yeah. Well, we just started training last week. We got another one this week. So they're really pushing it. And our good thing is the person that in charge of this project, he's the one that always supports us during elections. So he knows our schedule. He knows what we do.
Good.
okay.
So when we
That's
get
big.
busy, I forget to call him half the time. And he called me and said, Janet, I know you're in the busy period. Do you want me to take over your website? Just send me all the changes. So he works
Okay.
with us and his
Okay.
team. So he
Okay,
knows our.
well, I don't want to do anything to disturb that relationship. Why don't we do this? Let's get a report on this at our December meeting. As to where things stand, and you can tell us then if there's anything further that we can or should do in order to make sure that the schedule works for us.
This is,
Yeah.
is this a mandatory thing? Is there a court order behind this, or?
It's mandatory for the county, but the court order is for the accessibility. We have till April of 2026 to be compliant with the accessibility.
Okay, I just wondering what clock is ticking.
Oh, yeah, but I think it's a county thing. They just wanted to go to a brand new platform that was more robust. So.
Thank you for telling us about that. Anything else on that subject? Okay, anything else on the website before we go to the outreach update? Okay, we're up to Dr. Zelaya. Is he, oh, there he is.
Yes, good afternoon.
Okay, good afternoon. How are you doing?
Good, running around. So we're winding down our outreach as it pertains to the month of November. In October, November, we had about 74 opportunities to engage Montgomery County voters. Tonight, the county executive is having his multilingual community conversation at the Chinese Culture and Community Service Center in Gaithersburg. And also tomorrow night, we will be at the county executive's Silver Spring Community Conversations at the Silver Spring Civic Building from 7 to 8:30. We welcome any invitation from the community. Once again, no matter how large or small of the events, please reach out to us. And it has been very fruitful. Of course, with the holiday coming around the corner, a lot of the requests have kind of slowed down, but we are looking for opportunities to engage the community. And once again, we ask the public to reach out if they know of any events that we can attend during or prior the holiday season.
Okay. Any questions for Dr. Z? We appreciate everything you're doing, and you're continuing to do it. And gosh, 2 nights this week. So thank you for that as well.
No worries. And recognitions to the entire team. We've had individuals from voter services, training, operations stepping up to help us cover these events. And so I just want to recognize them as well as they're part of the team.
Thank you for that, and thank you to them as well. Okay, So are we, we're done with the outreach update? Boris, anything to add?
No, I think the 74 events in 2 months is quite a number.
Yes, that is quite a number. Very much so. Okay, we'll move on in the agenda. Is there any old business? I wasn't sure whether to call the new business item an old business item or a new business item, so I called it a new business item. Okay, so we're on to new business. And the item listed on the agenda is our position on MC 626. Board members know that I believe it was about well, it was on Sunday, November 9th, that I sent you a link to the bill itself. Hopefully you've all had a chance to look at the bill itself. I would like to move that the board endorse MC 626. Okay, it's been moved and seconded. I'll just very briefly say, I've been on the board as a substitute member. I've been on the board as a member in the minority. I've been on the board as the board secretary, and I've been on the board as the board president. And all of them, and all the experiences have been a little bit different, but basically they've been very similar in that the work is pretty much the work. And I always viewed it, and I know all of you have viewed it as our responsibility, and that voting was kind of a secondary thing. And, you know, obviously better to vote than not to, but that we all have done the same work. I want to associate myself with some of the remarks that Delegate Warman made earlier about the service of our substitute members, including our current ones, but also including our former ones. And I quite frankly don't know why we weren't included before. I was never asked my opinion before as to why we had substitute members. But I don't see a reason why 22 jurisdictions should eliminate them and make their people regular members, and we shouldn't. I mean,
Do you know what the historical rationale for that was in our county?
I do not, because like I said, no one ever consulted me on that question. I have theories based on some of the interpersonal relationships on our board of the past, not the current board. But they're only theories. But I was never presented with this question. I know that there were 10 jurisdictions that actually changed in 2011. 2011 is when I joined the board. So that means that in the legislature before I joined the board in June of 2011, 10 jurisdictions out of the 24, that's what started this process.
Oh, so there were 10 that had substitute members before and changed.
Before 2011, all the boards had substitute members. All 24, and 10 of them changed in 2011, and a bunch more in 2015, and a bunch more in 2019. And here we are, and there's only 2 left.
Has this ever gotten this far before in terms of the delegation and moving a bill?
As to my knowledge, there has never been a bill in Montgomery County to do this. Like I said, I don't really understand the whys. I personally just don't see I don't see a reason why. I mean, I can definitely see a reason why we have 7 members and other people have 5 members. I mean, we need the extra members because of the needs of our canvas and the needs of our county. And that's why substitute members have been full participants in everything. We need you. We need everybody.
In terms of the optics, do you intend to testify on the bill?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, assuming that you all vote the way I think you will.
Yes, you're right. I mean, how incredibly self-serving would it be if we?
I think you should.
Okay.
I think you should.
That's my question.
Because to me, first of all, I don't think there's, I think this is a question on the merits. I don't think there's anything partisan to it. I don't think there's anything I don't think our board is asking for something that is like so incredibly self-serving for our board. This is a question of how we structure our board. And it doesn't cost a cent. You.
It's not partisan or personal.
No, it's not partisan or personal. That's true. Well, and we can prove it because we voted for the concept before Larry was here. So, you know, so we were for it when
Even
Alex.
more reason for you to testify.
Yeah, you see, we voted for it when Alex was the substitute member. We voted for it when Larry was the substitute member. Yeah, you know, so no, I personally would encourage anyone who wants to come, and I don't know if we all need to say the same thing all over again.
It'll be
but-
boring.
Yes, but to the extent that we are united and we show that we are united and that we show that this should not be controversial, I think that's all for the good, because I don't see why this should be controversial. We're not costing anything. We're talking about how we're organized. Our substitute members already do everything but vote.
At this point, we're an anomaly. I mean.
Yes,
In this day.
we are. Now, I will say, Prince George's County has 3 substitute members. So they have a more complicated, I don't know why. They also have a different ratio of majority to minority.
They were totally different composition.
Yes. Now, I'm sure that has nothing to do with the late Senate president being from Prince George's County originally, but, you know.
None too much a dose of sarcasm.
Yeah, you know, well, I honestly don't know, but I do know that it's more complicated for them, and so I think we proceed for us, and you know, if they want to join, they join. I predict they won't, and you know, but just based on what I've heard, you know, a year ago.
But even in 2011, couldn't the General Assembly's leadership have pushed through a bill to amend the code for all counties?
They could have.
Liked it or not?
They could have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why, I don't know, I can send you all, if you're interested, the list of which counties were when, but I'm not sure that'll tell you much, because other than, I believe it was 2015, that I think that there were like 5 of them and 4 of them were on the Eastern Shore, but I don't, there's not much of a pattern. You know, to me, it sounds like they went to either the legislators or the boards of elections from those places, and they said, what do you want to do? And like I said, it never was discussed at the board table, here. So I can't, you know, guess as to what was happening here, but I just don't see a reason for us, as Larry put it, to be an anomaly. That just doesn't make any sense to me.
Okay.
Other comments?
And I guess there would be no practical change in the situation if a board member was absent, if this bill is enacted.
Yeah, no, as long as you've got a quorum.
The quorum would remain the same.
Right.
Because it would be 4 members. There is one change that the bill would make as a kind of a conforming change. There's a provision of law that says that it takes a bipartisan majority to appoint an election director. A provision that I hope not to be worrying about for the rest of my tenure on the board. But that provision currently said some version of it takes 3 board members to make the appointment. One has to be for, you know, one has to be from another party as the others, and then now it says 4. You know, a conforming change. So
I don't think that's a problem anyhow.
no, I don't either. I mean, I think that the spirit of that provision is the same either way. You know, we don't want party line votes on the election director. So, and you know, for the record, we had a unanimous vote on the election director. So, anyway, I've been searching for what the problem would be. I don't see a problem. There may be some who will say, why does it affect the current members of your board? And the answer is because it doesn't change their pay.
Right.
You know, so why wait? You know, that's my.
Okay,
that's
call
my
the
opinion.
question.
Any other debate? No? Okay. All those in favor, sad to say, substitute members, you cannot vote on this question. Not because of not because of a conflict of interest, because of your substitute members, but we will change that. All those in favor of my motion to support this legislation, please raise your hand. It is unanimous. Okay, thank you. I will work on a statement and stay in touch with everybody. about how we want to, handle, the hearing.
What's the date of that again? Is the
It's December the 11th. The hearing starts at 7 o'clock. I don't know when we will start, but the hearing will start at 7 o'clock.
So if we were gonna testify, it would be from wherever we are.
From wherever you are.
Get the link.
And unless we were to decide for some reason that we wanted to be in the same location, but I don't know why we would. I mean, it would be lost on people for sure.
Go hang out outside the House of Delegates or something?
Yeah, or from this room, I guess, but, no, I don't know that there's necessarily a reason. I also don't know whether having more people on the list to testify will affect the order of which bills they hear when. That's the only other thing about, about that. It could be that if there are more people testifying, that they will, take those sooner to get them out of the way. But I honestly don't know. I can look into that.
May I just add, David, last year we were waiting for one of the bills and I think we ended up 1 hour and 45 minutes wait because of the testimonies.
That was a state bill, not a local bill, right? Is that what you're talking about?
I
Or?
think it was delegation's position. Was it the ranked choice voting or something?
Oh, you're right. We did wait a long time for that one. You are correct. Well, I will, I'll see what I can do, on at least finding out when we need to be there. So that we either, if they tell us we're not gonna get to you until 8 o'clock or whatever, or if they, let me see what I can find out. Okay, is there any other new business? Alrighty, so then it's just a list of future action items. I only remember one, which was about the website and put that on the agenda for December. Any other future action items from this meeting? Board members have a future action item in their inbox about their schedules for Canvas. Those who haven't already done it, I've heard from 2 already. So I'm not saying that to rush anybody. I gave you a bunch of time so that people can work out whatever schedule you have to check. But I do want to get that figured out as early as we can so that we can plan for that. Okay, then the last remaining business item is the approval of the minutes from October 20th. Is there a motion?
Mr. President,
Alex?
I move that the board approve minutes of the October, was it
20th.
October 20th meeting as amended by our worthy board president and our worthy board secretary.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second? Seconded by Keena. Any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your hand. It is unanimous. Thank you. Okay, let me just discuss our future meetings for a moment because we have made some changes to our schedule. We will be meeting in December, on December the 15th, which is the third Monday of December. That will be a virtual meeting. Rather than, similar to what we did in 2025, actually, I just noticed this, that on the agenda, it says February 2nd, 2025, but it's actually February 2nd, 2026. But we will be having a single meeting for January and February on the first Monday in February, which is February the 2nd, and that'll be an in-person meeting here. Then we will revert to our third Monday of the month for March, April, and May, with March being the meeting where March will be a virtual meeting. March will be a meeting where we invite all the candidates and campaigns to come and hear about the rules and regulations and any questions they have for us. You guys may remember we did that before the last election. But rather than doing it in person, we will do that virtually, which we hope will help encourage people to attend. But that'll be in March. I don't know what we'll be doing in April and May, but we'll be doing it on the third Monday of the month. And we will delay scheduling the rest of the meetings. The June meeting could get affected by our Canvas schedule, because we will be in the midst of a whole bunch of things on the third Monday in, I believe that the third Monday in June is in the middle of early voting or, you know,
We may have other
yeah,
things.
we may have other things going on at that time, so, but we will get to that, but I just wanted to make sure that that was all on the record and hopefully will be in the minutes so that people can know what to plan for. And then, the next thing I need is a motion for we have an executive session that is, after our public meeting. We had one, of course, before, in order for us to get legal advice, regarding our bylaws. So is there a motion, for that executive session?
I will move that we move to executive session
Okay, for that purpose.
for that.
Okay, it's been moved by Ami. Is there a second? Okay, seconded by Margie. All those in favor, please raise your hand. It is unanimous. Is your hand up?
Oh,
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, so our public meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everybody, and we will see you next month. Yes, see you next month.
Thank you.
Yeah. There is no space.